Today we're going to be looking at another tune from Final Fantasy VII, and this time it's Barret's theme. This is the music that plays before Avalanche sets off to destroy Sector 5, which is the second mission in the game. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Let's talk about the harmony first. So it looks like we're in the key of F, but then instead of going down to a C chord, maybe like it goes from that to E flat. So if you ever have a tune where you have the first chord is major and then it's followed by a chord whose root is a tone below, then it's most likely in Mixolydian. So in this case we have F major to start with and then E flat. So F Mixolydian is the fifth mode of B flat. So all of the chords that are in F Mixolydian are coming from B flat. Just quickly, if we take a look at the chords that are in B flat. So it's got E flat major and F major. So the only difference is we're thinking of F as the 1. And then this E flat, instead of being the 4 of B flat, it's now the flat 7 of F Mixolydian. And because modal progressions generally have very few chords in them, because then if you have too many chords that are both in that particular mode and the original major scale, our ear is going to immediately think that it's back to major. So you just have to keep the harmony fairly simple. You want to have the first chord of the key and then followed by 1 or 2 other chords that have the characteristic modal notes in them, pretty much nothing else. That's why Dorian has this kind of classic Dorian progression where you have a minor chord, let's say it's D minor, and then going to G major. So, but that's enough to have that as a Dorian progression. You don't even have to go too many other places, especially where we have chords that are common to other modes where you could be suggesting something else. I'll talk about the melody later, but just to see the cool. So there's the A section. So there was no chords other than F and E flat. The other popular choice for Mixolydian progressions is the 5 minor. So in this case, if we have F as our 1, C minor, it's going to be the 5 chord. Again, coming from B flat. So C minor is the 2 of B flat. But if we're thinking of F as the 1, then it's now it's not much difference between the idea of going between F and E flat and F and C minor 7. You know, C minor 7 has an E flat major triad within it. So the only difference is the addition of the C, which you could be thinking of it as an E flat 6 even. So you have there's the second melody comes in, but the harmony doesn't change, so. C minor. So just between F and C minor there. Not that much to talk about there. The same melody. Now the first time this went, this is slightly different. As far as the harmony is concerned, still between F and C minor. Let's have a look at the C section. So this is a bit of a change. So now it's going up to B flat. So in like normal tunes, it might be quite popular to, if you're going to change key, to go to the subdominant, or the key that is a fourth away from the original. So if F is the original 1, B flat is the fourth note of that scale. So to change key to that key is a popular thing. So if you started down here, you're in the key of F, and then suddenly. So this is kind of a similar move here, except that this is all modal. So we're going from F Mixolydian to B flat Mixolydian. So again, if we imagine now that B flat was the 1 chord, then the flat 7 is A flat, and back up again. And then we have the B1, so we're going back to F Mixolydian. C minor. There's that 5 minor again. And then the final section, so we have A flat. So A flat Mixolydian now. This is a common way to keep modal music in general interesting, because the composer is somewhat trapped in that you can't have too many chords, otherwise the ear might think that it's going back to a regular major minor key. So if you're stuck with a 2-chord progression and you want to give the piece a sense of development, one easy way to do that is to keep changing the key. So we've had F Mixolydian, then change it to B flat Mixolydian, and now we have A flat Mixolydian. So it's the same move every time, but the fact that the key keeps changing is what's, keeping the ear interested. And then another one. So that is a bit different there, because if that was G Mixolydian, it'd be G to F to G. But this is actually G minor. Same root motion though. Does create something more interesting, because so far we've just had Mixolydian progressions. Now suddenly to have a minor chord. That's more like a natural minor progression. After that, now we're at D flat. So D flat major. Again, another pretty direct change of key, because we were at G minor a moment ago. So G minor to D flat. I mean, the root motion's a tritone. Unless you're doing a Danny Elfman. What was it? That's quite an unusual key change. And there's no setup, just direct modulation. Goes from D flat major to B flat minor. So if D flat was our 1 chord, going to B flat minor is just 1 to 6. There is a little Dorian moment here. So once we're at the B flat minor, which before, because of starting with D flat, it sounds like the B flat minor is the 6. But as soon as we get to B flat minor, it becomes 2. It becomes part of this Dorian progression. So B flat minor to E flat major. So B flat Dorian, which has its chords from A flat, which is why it's a E flat major chord, as opposed to B flat minor, original. Which has an E flat minor. Okay. B flat minor then. And again, another direct modulation. So no setup, just letting the melody do the work. So. So normally, if you hear a B flat minor, one common way to resolve it might be, especially if C is the melody, it could be an F, like. That sounds quite nice. But to have it be A minor, so it's not what you'd expect. And then this final cadence. So we've got a pedal in the bass, so it's always A. So the B, because there's a melody here which is just stepping down. So harmonize the C with A minor. Now the B could have been a 9, like that, but it's quite a nice. This is called an upper structure. So you're playing a G chord over an A minor chord, and because the root note is A, the context of the G chord changes. You know, under normal circumstances, a G chord with a G in the bass. G's the 1, B's the 3, D's the 5. But now because we've changed the context and A is the 1, all of these notes become extensions or colors. So the G that was the root note is now the 7, the B that was the 3rd is now the 9, and the D that was the 5th, that's now the 11. They take on a more unresolved quality. So here it is with, if I have G in the bass, but then with A underneath. This is sometimes referred to as a jazz suspended chord. If the original just had, like if here's A major, if in a more traditional suspension is just to replace the 3 with the 4. It's quite common for jazz musicians to play, so not just the D, but some of the other extensions as well, which leads to this, what appears to be G over A. Okay, and then it resolves to A in the melody. Still unresolved. So that could have been just finish it there, because you're hearing the A, which is the root note. So you hear this, but then the notes underneath still colors. So if A is the root note, B and D is the 9 and the 11, or 2 and 4, whatever you want. So even though they hear, the audience is going to hear, or the listener is going to hear A in the melody with A in the bass, it sounds like it's over. But if you put other voices which are still suspended. Still something more. And in this case, right, a couple ways you could see that, but I'm kind of hearing it as a A minor major 9. A chord with a lot of tension. And then again another direct modulation, because it goes straight from this A minor back to the F Mixolydian. Okay, that'll do for the harmony. Let's take a look at the melody next. Hi there, just realized that just covering the harmony is already taken too long, so I'm going to cover the melody in another video. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.